Those are the bad actors, the extremists that been waiting, chomping at the bit for an excuse to say, yeah, we heard that shit. Y'all was talking. And I keep telling y'all, my name might be Trigger Mike. I'm not gonna help y'all fight no race war. We already lost. We outnumbered. This was the perfect time to just say nothing. It literally had nothing to do with us. And all of that smoke on the Charlie pack. I'm glad you literally could keep that to yourself and be like, he out of here. If you really have those type of feelings about it, say nothing, because it doesn't help you one way, or the other, and then you making your people a target unnecessarily. And every time I see people commenting the way they do on white, or if somebody dies, and showing a lack of sympathy, empathy is not the word to use, showing the lack of sympathy for that cause in any effect, we lose moral authority every time. Now it's just a tit for tat, and like I said, we're gonna lose.
I can't have empathy for someone like Charlie Kirk. First of all, Charlie Kirk don't believe in empathy. He said it's a bad thing. He said it's some new age made up shit. He also said people got to be sacrificed in order to protect guns. If he was saying that while fighting for reparations, I may have a little bit of empathy. But this white on white violence, he died? Damn, B. Life comes at you fast. I can't have empathy for someone like Charlie Kirk because I cannot be in his shoes. I have no frame of reference for that. I have no cognizance for that. There literally is nothing about his existence that I can relate to. So I don't have any empathy because I have no connectivity. I have more connectivity to someone who is a complete stranger that dies of a drug overdose than I do to someone like Charlie Kirk, because life is hard. And I understand that, because it takes very little for someone to end up committing themselves to an existence of numbness. I understand that. That man got murdered at 31 at a college event in the middle of a sentence talking about black gangs. What a way to go. Oh, Chanel. He was actually taken out by an old white man in one of the whitest, whitery, witty white states in existence. He didn't get murked in Watts now. They took him out in Utah. They said Lady Oleana. I want you to know it was us. Ain't no way it was a black man that took that man out. Not no Utah. Right as that bullet hit him, that man was in the middle of talking shit about gangs. White on white crime. These thugs, y'all. These thugs.
I just caught on to all this stuff, of course. Things that he said and stuff. I don't really keep up with Republicans like that, but I mean, it's messed up the way he went out. As I hear more and more things that he said and did. I mean, be honest with you, it happened in front of his wife and kids. So I do have empathy for that, because they had to witness that. But I mean, it wasn't one of us that unalived them. So that's what I have to say about that for now. But I'm still trying to catch up on this story, to be honest with you. So
okay.
But I don't think he should be. I mean, his political views I heard about all the other stuff recently, and no, I mean, that shouldn't be a reason nobody should take you out. I mean, that's your view. So, but yeah, so I'll let everybody else talk on that.
All right. Go ahead, Kia. How you feeling, man? I know this is a very important topic to you.
Okay. So, my condolences to his family and to everyone that was there, because to hear shots out and everyone's running away is very scary, especially how often mass shootings are happening. Um, I don't think that making fun of his death is okay, but I don't think that we should expect sympathy or empathy from people. He said some very inflammatory and provocative things about marginalized groups of people. And when I give an opinion about something, like let's say homophobic, um, I have maybe 1,000 followers. It's not going to be as influential as someone who is directly involved in politics and has a large amount of money involved having an opinion like black women's brains are smaller than white people, or if I see a black pilot, I'm gonna be concerned and hope that that person is qualified. Um, those that's not just a difference of opinion. Uh, that's political. That's politically violent. To have those types of opinions about people, or to say, to call someone the C slur, to call an Asian man the C slur, that's political violence, and it's encouraging other people to also have those same political takes. To have a theory like the Great Erasure, that is political violence, and I'm not saying that he deserved to die. But Amanda Seals is right, even though I don't agree with a lot of her politics. She's right. He did say that he believed that empathy was a new age thing. He did say that the price that we have to pay for gun control is some people are going to die due to guns. And he was so right that within hours of his own shooting in Utah, 3 people died in Denver, Colorado of a mass shooting, and over 70 children in Gaza died yesterday. So, also, it was my birthday, but yeah. So it's sad, but I don't think people should celebrate. But I don't think people should. I don't think people not having empathy for it. I don't think it's upset. He had a family. Everyone has a family. So rest in peace to him. It's sad, and my heart goes out to his family.
Okay, yeah. After this, we going to DJ Hemp, Trigger Mike, and then Miss Pearl. So and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, and JR's question was like, how do we feel about it? Like, I'm pretty desensitized overall, in terms of this. I think that just seeing him get shot the way in which he did, you can be taken aback by that 100%. I just wonder more so, Marcus, like, what's the goal of the people who are talking about smoking on the Charlie pack and all that? Like, what is the goal of those people? Because famous and infamous has very similar results. And so when you're talking like that, you actually furthering whatever he did say. So if you're trying to help his message, by all means, keep speaking out in that manner, but it doesn't have the effect in which we think it has. So that's kind of one thing I'm trying to analyze. Like, what do you really? I wouldn't even play my cards. You know what I'm saying? I'm keep it quiet. You know what I'm saying? And let it marinate how it's supposed to marinate. Now you're gonna have copycats. You're gonna have people that want to outdo him, right? And then now you got people on the fence, right, that maybe want to avenge him, and then all they see is what is in their algorithm. Black people talking shit about him, and then what happened? So now for me, it's more on high alert now, right? Walking through daily life. There's a fever pitch for me, you know what I mean? With my kids, my wife, and all that. Like, so my 2 older daughters, I had to drop them off back and forth to school now, at least for a couple weeks, just to make sure everything copacetic. Because you don't know what people are willing to do, right? People try to go down in history for a multiplicity of reasons. And now you got the vice president walking them out. This shit ain't going to go how we think it's going to go. It's not a joke in time, in my opinion.
Just piggybacking off what Ham said, I'm 100% in lockstep with that. I personally believe that this was the perfect time for Black people to shut the hell up and let them have that. We ain't had to say nothing. The only thing that I was worried, I was like, what's the race of the shooter? You're not Black, they in Utah, just like she said, let them have this one. So just like he said, now everybody on high alert. I had to spend all day looking at disgusting messages because people want to poke fun at that. I went to the gun range earlier to test fire something I was building. Shit was packed. It's Thursday. It's never packed like that. I wonder why. Right. So the interesting thing is that people are not really understanding that 3 HBCUs got locked down because of threats. That is the extreme. Just like DJ Hamp said, those are the bad actors, the extremists that been waiting, chomping at the bit for an excuse to say, yeah, we heard that shit. Y'all was talking. And I keep telling y'all, my name might be Trigger Mike. I'm not going to help y'all fight no race war. We already lost. We outnumbered. This was the perfect time to just say nothing. It literally had nothing to do with us. And all of that smoke on the Charlie pack. I'm glad you literally can keep that to yourself and be like, he out of here. If you really have those type of feelings about it, say nothing, because it doesn't help you one way, or the other. And then you making your people a target unnecessarily. And I'll just say this.
What you mean you ain't gonna fight though? You Trigger Mike.
I know. No. I already got my house in Panama. I'm out. That shit. Listen, let me just say this. The reason I get so confused when these things happen is because of what has historically happened to Black people in this very country. And I noticed throughout history, from MLK, from Medgar Evers, all these people in history, Thurgood Marshall, they resonated so deeply with people, and even in the movement, because they had the moral authority when they spoke. And every time I see people commenting the way they do on white, or, if somebody dies, and showing a lack of sympathy, empathy is not the word to use, showing the lack of sympathy for that cause in any effect, we lose moral authority every time. Now it's just a tit for tat. And like I said, we're going to lose.